Yeah, I was in prison, and it's time for another prison story. Hit that music!
Movies, music, story times, all kinds of shit for you. Everything goes in this house tonight from
So here's the thing about prison, man. It's full of bullshitters. Everybody in prison was a fucking rapper. Everybody in prison was a big ass fucking drug lord. Everybody was a badass assassin. Nobody was just this lowly asshole that got caught doing something stupid. You know? Nobody has any humility in prison. Everybody's got to be the badass. Everybody's got to be the one that the movie's really based on. And I encountered so many of these people, it's crazy. And even if they're schlubs, even if they admit to being what they are, stupid assholes that got caught just like me, even if they admit that, they'll still be the ones that are saying like, oh yeah, man, I met Leatherface in prison. You didn't meet Leatherface in prison, asshole.
Check that video out.
Check that video out, because that happened. But anyway.
I had 3 views.
But yeah, man, I encountered so many fucking people like that in prison. It's hard to find somebody with humility, though I did find those people in there too. But the ultimate example of someone that didn't know how to stop bullshitting for me came when I encountered one of these fools making just that out of himself, a fool, during one of these prison concerts. Now, if you're wondering about what a prison concert is, you should probably check out our video on the Mega Boot. But let me paraphrase. These religious organizations visit the prisons a lot in an attempt to evangelize and reform prisoners, which more than often does not work, by the way. But anyway, the ones that do, well, that's a win, right? But anyway, they come in and they usually sometimes bring bands, and these are like, you know, actually professional musicians and shit. The only catch here is that they do shitty cover versions, Christianized cover versions of popular songs. Sucks. But you know, they also have original material. Well, anyway, one of these bands was called Warriors of the Cross, and this is in deep South Texas, right? And they traveled to several prisons, and they would come by to ours every other weekend or so, and they were really, really good, man. And the guys in the band were really awesome. And they had another band, like a side project band, that was even better. And they rarely, if ever, did that cover music shit. So they were really awesome. I actually used to go like to see them, and they were very personable folk. Well, anyway, the Warriors of the Band version, Warriors of the Cross version of the band, not the other more blues rock version of the band. The Warriors of the Cross version of the band had kind of like a Hispanic, Latino infusion rock sound to it, right? And so they had a wide variety of instruments, and the heads of that version of the band were a wife and husband team. The wife did vocals, and she was awesome, and she played the keyboard.
Would you hit
right?
that?
I would hit it.
Oh.
I would definitely hit it. But anyway, and the husband was the bassist.
Would you hit that?
I would not hit it because he was one hideous man. But he was a better looking man. Maybe I'd hit it with a 2x4 across the face. But anyway, yeah,
That's what
man.
you call your wiener, by the way.
Yeah,
the 2x4.
the old 2x4, as in 2 millimeters by 4 millimeters.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, they were the leaders of the band. But there was a drummer, there was a rhythm guitarist, there was a lead guitarist, there was a bongo player, there was a guy that would just pretend to be Johnny Cash for no good reason, and they just let him do it, but he sucked. There was 2 backup vocalists, and there was like a guy that did all these other extra percussion instruments. It was a big band. So anyway, one time they come and they're doing their little thing, and before they start, the chick announces that her and her husband are gonna have to leave. So we're gonna basically get the band without the 2 leaders. You know what I'm saying? So that version of the band only knew a certain amount of songs, and the other songs that they knew needed the keyboard and her vocals.
Santana.
So we were basically gonna get a cheaper version of a concert. Not that it was already cheap, but anyway, everybody was kind of like, oh well, we understand, but whatever. It'll still be cool, right? It was pretty cool. The backup vocalist did a pretty good job. It's just she didn't know the standards that everybody liked at that point. So everybody's like, oh, all right. Well, the rhythm guitarist, who was this really cool dude named Rob, hippie style dude, he says, hey, I got an idea. If anybody can play the keyboard, if anybody can play the keyboard for these other songs, we can sing them for you. Does anybody know how to play the keyboard? And keep in mind, in prison, we had 2 prison bands. They both sucked ass, but we had 2 of them. Well, None of the people from the band knew how to play, from the prison bands knew how to play the keyboard. But some rando raises his hand, this black dude in the background raises his hand and he says, I can do it. And you know, hey man, there's all kinds of people in prison, so nobody doubted him.
Yeah.
Plus, that's like, let's say you go to a Metallica concert, right? And James all of a sudden gets laryngitis. And he goes, hey, if anybody can sing somewhat akin to me or, you know, just good enough, you can come and finish the concert.
It'd still be better than Saint Anger.
It'd definitely be better than that. You know, and, you know, you can punch Lars afterwards and it's all good. Nobody in their right mind, I gotta stress that, in their right mind would go, I can do it without being able to do it.
Yeah.
You might have a fool that says I can do it and go up there, sound like shit, at which point James rips that shit out of his fucking hands and beats him with it. And that would happen too. But most people would be like, I can't do it because I can't, or I'm not good enough. Or if they can, they'd be the ones to raise their hand. So we assumed that this guy knew how to play the
Yeah,
keyboard.
was a master of the ivories.
So he goes up there and...
Is that what they call him?
Yeah, tickling the old ivories, I guess. But he goes up there and he goes... There's a microphone at the keyboard because remember the chick played the keyboard and sung. And he goes, just give me a second to get familiar with it.
Oh, man.
And that, to me...
Already.
That's a red flag.
Yeah.
It's a fucking keyboard, dude. Yeah, there's a few, you know, extra little bells and whistles on it. You know, they have the electronic synth shit in there. But basically, you're playing the keys. You either know the fucking thing or you don't. So he's looking around, and you know, Rob and the rest of the band are kind of just like strumming along while he gets familiar with it. And I see Rob, and he has a look on his face that says, "This might have been a mistake."
Yeah.
You know, that trepidatious look of fear. And I'm like, all right, well, let's see where this goes. Anyway, while they're playing a little, you know, intermission song there, while this guy figures it out, I hear this guy fiddling with a thing. So you know how they have different sounds, you know, you can change the sound of the key striking, or maybe you could get a little rhythm thing in there. So that's what I hear.
Bar?
Yeah, that's what I hear. Oh,
I didn't know Lang Lang was in prison.
Let me tell you, put Lang Lang to shame that how weird that sound was. But it still was more CD worthy though. But anyway, yeah, man. And there was this little knob that would make the you know, kind of like the notes go up and down, like a whammy bar. Yeah, like a whammy bar. He had a little bar and he kept on jostling that shit. And then after about like 5 minutes of this shit, you gotta understand, man, 5 minutes during a concert is like 5 minutes during a movie. That's a long fucking time. So anyway, this guy finally goes, all right, I got it, man. And so they tell him, do you know this song? Which was one of the ones that people were wanting, right? And he's like, yeah. So they start playing the song. It's a very keyboard-heavy song, okay? So they start playing the song, and the keyboard should start in about like 30 seconds into the song. 30 seconds come up, and you can barely hear bling, bling, ring, dung, ring, lung, dung. And I'm like, oh no. And then about like a minute into it, Rob is looking over there like with fire in his eyes, and the guy's still like, and then like the song's almost gonna end, and all of a sudden he like sprinkles in a few things that may or may not sound like a duck walking across a keyboard. You know what I'm saying? And it ends, and he's like, all right, man, you ready for the next song? It's got the solo. And he's like, yeah, I got it.
Oh, man.
At what point do you just go, I don't got it, man. I'm a fool. I'm an idiot. Apparently never, because they start into the song. And this song has about a minute-long keyboard solo. And this chick could nail this fucking badass little Santana-like solo to the max, you know? I'm waiting there, dude. At this point, everybody in the crowd is, you know, since a lot of people are trying to be serious about their religion and or they're just trying to be respectful so that they can actually watch the concert, they're going along with it. But it's evident in everybody, especially my friend next to me and me, that this shit's going haywire, you know? And I'm just like a stupid idiot with a shit-eating grin because I know the keyboard solo's coming up and I'm like, oh man, it's gonna lick! So anyway, the keyboard solo creeps up, and with every passing second, the rhythm guitarist Rob is just looking over like, oh fuck, this motherfucker's coming. It hits, dude. It's his time to shine. The only thing he's got in the background is the beat of the drum, real light in the background, right? This was the sound. And I guarantee you this sound is better. First, there was 3 seconds of silence, and then... Ding! Ring! Ring!
Oh.
Ding! 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 Wee! 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 Ding! 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 Ring! 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 Wee! 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 For a good minute.
Shit. That's our new theme, by the way.
The volume did that one. But, yeah, dude. It happened. And this guy just... by the way, once the song was over, Rob was like, thanks, man. That's it. You're done.
Broke him.
This was a nice man going, fuck you, basically, in so many words.
Yeah, it was like the snare drum in Saint Anger.
Yeah.
I recently heard Saint Anger in case you can't tell.
Saint Anger was called Saint Anger because it makes you angry.
Yeah, it really does.
Man, this fucking
Much
album.
like that guy.
But yeah, man, that's the story of the keyboard guy in prison who just should have shut the fuck up and said, I don't know how to play keyboard. Who are you fooling, dude? I want to know what happened when he went back to his dorm. Did people call him out on his bullshit or not? I want to know. Anyway, that's a fucking thing. This has been Ahab and Kuintig talking about the keyboard guy. Hit like, share, subscribe, notification button. We're out.
This music, story times, all kinds of shit for you. Anything goes inside the night, don't come with corpulent dudes. Movies, music, story times, all kinds of shit for you.